conscience you call a hard tripping you up.
All right, I'm back. Are you guys cool with me eating this? Because I feel like I gotta eat. So I just got a white chicken with rice bowl. And all right, cool. Here's what we can do. I'm thinking we can pull up a video while I eat. So if you guys are okay with that, let me do. Okay. Yeah, let me switch the monitor. Yeah. We can like watch it only if you share with us. I don't think so. Yeah, hold on real quick. Let me find us a video we can all watch and stuff. Mukbang, Lamau. Just something to have while I eat this shit. You know what I mean? Oh, there's a film theory on The Last of Us. You guys want to watch that? Watching those makes me want to be a VA so bad. Oh, really? Hell yeah. Cy what? What'd I do? Pico Park? Yeah? The Last of Us? Holy fuck. Yeah, let's watch that.
The world is dying. We are no longer at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Cities have fallen to ruin as friends and
yeah, just as because this will be long enough for me to finish eating.
Guard the ruins, denying us the derelict remains of our past dignity. Humans are going extinct, and all of it is because of this. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the fun guy who's here to talk about fungi. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that
that's my joke.
Time for the transmedia landscape.
Do I like boba? I love boba.
Video games here on the Film and TV channel. That's because The Last of Us, just like Sonic, League of Legends, and Pokemon before it, is the latest in the line of games that's been turned into
a little low. I got you.
Movie or TV show. Take that, Game Theory. That's another piece from your toy box. That's ours now.
Yeah, we're just taking a quick break and then we'll be back to
signing.
signing.
I'm laughing at myself with this joke. I'm in charge of all of these channels. What's going on here? In case you're not an elite gamer like all of us over here, let me catch you up. The Last of Us started its life in 2013 as a video game that
it's
set
based
a
off
new
the TV show.
benchmark for cinematic storytelling.
That was up the Chaos Kitty. We're just watching this video while I eat my lunch.
Daughter trying to survive a world devastated by a zombie apocalypse immediately cemented itself as a pivotal piece of gaming history. The moment that gaming stood up and shouted, "Yes, we too can have emotional movie quality stories." Now, to be completely
Basil,
honest,
I can't
gaming
make that
had
choice for you.
Plenty of other amazing stories in the past, but this was the moment when the visuals and the story both reached
I can't
the point
tell you to
where
be a
no
voice
one
actor
could
just
deny
because
gaming's artistic properties anymore. The
of
game
a
was
voice.
so good that Sony
It's
just
something
had
that
to
you
release it on the PS3
have to be
and
passionate
the
about.
PS4 and the PS5 again, all in under 10 years, no less. And here we thought rebooting movies happened quickly. Anyway, now here in 2023, the dramatic prestige video game has been turned into a dramatic prestige streaming series. In fact,
Bro,
as both top-tier
this show is
gamers
so
and
good.
top-tier movie nerds, Steph and I were
The
lucky
show is
enough
so
to get
good.
invited to the premiere. On that note, this video is hashtag not spawn, but considering the amount of free popcorn that I ate that night, might as well have been.
Appropriate.
Diet Coke number 2, I am.
True.
making 'em.
How's the food? It's good. And I mean, honestly,
You invite me to a place where I'm
the
getting
first
free
episode's like an hour and
unlimited
30 minutes, so
popcorn and Diet Coke. I am gonna make
that
you
makes sense.
hurt. So after meeting some of the team who worked on the show,
Midori,
who
thank you for the
also happen
sub.
to be fans of food theory, that was a fun little twist. And then
You really
want to
be a VA and a VTuber? Then do it.
You walk in the black carpet, the private black carpet that we stealthily avoided. They're like, "Are you sure you don't want to walk the red carpet?" Like, no thanks. I said, "Oh Jesus!" I literally break down the barrier.
It was time for the show.
The first of the episodes, The Last of Us.
Honest review.
I don't think I have, Chelsea.
I get nervous whenever anyone tries to adapt such a perfect.
Can't wait for episode 3. Me neither.
They nailed it. Sure, they made some changes to the source material, which
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about here in a second, but it never detracted from the core story. So with yet another
Yeah, they
series
changed
showing
the
that
fact that
video
there's no
game bad
spores,
movie curse is
which
not a real
sucks,
thing anymore,
but
we finished
the way
by
they're handling
dancing
it,
the
it's
night
good.
away.
You heard of the fungi
I think
attack.
the-
Welcome, the fungi.
Oh,
attack.
come
Though,
on,
to be
that's the
fair,
second
we
time.
didn't party as hard as some.
Don't do shrooms, kids.
Now, as you might have guessed
True.
at this point,
Don't
the
do
zombies
shrooms.
in The Last of Us function a bit differently from your usual apocalyptic scenario. In most media, you're dealing with a blood-borne virus that's spread through bites, but not
I'm
so
too
much
scared to
here.
watch
What makes
zombie
The Last
stuff?
of Us
That's
so
fair.
interesting is that it's all
'Cause it can
a
get
fungus.
scary at times.
In fact, the show spends its entire opening scene laying out why a fungal pandemic would be terrifying.
The way they
using
start the
real
show is
science
so
to lay
good.
out exactly what would happen.
There's a fungus that infects insects.
Dude,
Gets
this
inside
was the
an
opening
ant,
shot.
for example.
And you know what's the craziest part about this opening shot? This is what I yelled out when I saw this dude. Do you guys know who this man is? Let me enlighten you, chat. That man is the voice of Donatello in Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's right, baby. That was my first thought. I'm not kidding. That is actually him. That's the voice actor who is the guy interviewing the scientists in the first episode of The Last of Us. Yeah, it's actually hilarious. Hayden got mad at me because they're like, you better not do that the whole episode. And I was like, look, it was the one time, all right?
Morning,
hey, thank you for the 18 months. Hey.
I finally got a frame for the CyYuVtuber.
Hell yeah.
Example, fungus starts to direct the ant's behavior, telling it where to go, what to do. So it begins to devour its host from within, replacing the ant's flesh with its own.
The fungus this scientist is talking about is a real thing called cordyceps, which we've actually talked about multiple times over on the Sister Location Game Theory. It is terrifying stuff, but something that we shouldn't have to worry about, right? I mean, the show claims that fungal infections of this type
Cannot survive if its host's internal temperature is over 94 degrees.
But then they ask, what if that changes?
What if, for instance, the world were to get slightly warmer?
Man, HBO
Yeah, they explained why everything happened or why everything would happen in the first episode.
sure loves using
In
zombie
the first 10
invasions
minutes.
as a metaphor for climate change, huh?
Winter is coming.
If only Westeros had reduced its greenhouse gas emissions. What's crazy though is how quickly things fall apart in the world of The Last of Us. Seriously, it basically felt like over the course of just a day or two, everyone everywhere all at once suddenly had their brains hijacked by a fungus like it was a 5-star Grand Theft Auto rampage. Suddenly zombie runners are in houses, in the streets, planes crashing out of the sky. What happened? And it's here that we actually get to one of the big differences between the game and the new series, as well as our main theory
they
for
explain
today.
it.
How did the fungus spread so
They
quickly
tell
in
you
the
how.
new HBO series The Last of Us? You see, in the game, part of the reason the cordyceps were able to take control so quickly was through the use of spores. Like traditional zombies, the infected in The Last of Us game are able to spread infection to new people through bites, and this is true for the new series. There's this really great, horrifying shot where fungal tendrils are worming out of a
Yeah,
woman's
it's pretty
mouth
fucking
to infect
vile.
someone else. It is
It's
so
disgusting.
gross. It was this moment that I'm like, yes, this series gets it. But in addition to munching on the living, the video game version of the cordyceps were able to infect new people through airborne spores produced in the bodies of the infected. And this creates a huge threat for all the survivors. There are
Gross.
big
Yeah,
chunks of the game
science.
where our protagonist Joel has to wear a gas mask to survive. He even keeps one on him at all times just in case. So yeah, that's
As
the
you
way
should.
that you get this sort of rapid zombie spread. If the show had airborne spores, but it doesn't. One of the show's creators, Craig Mazin,
But the way
previously
it's
worked
so
on the
gross,
series
it was makes it
Chernobyl
so
for
good.
HBO,
Yeah.
which had a ton of scenes with actors in hazmat suits and gas masks. Mazin found that it was more difficult to create drama when an actor's face was covered by a bunch of safety equipment. Hence Joel's gas mask and the fungal spores having to go. Nope, no you're not, Stephanie. These babies are no longer airborne. Your dance
No, this is
not
film
canonical.
theory.
But if it's not spores, then what is
I'm
it?
eating
What's
white rice and
causing
chicken,
the zombie
'cause
fungus to
it's
spread?
probably one of the
Surely
few
there has
things
to
I
be
can
some
have with
sort of
kidney
an
stones.
explanation, so I dived into behind-the-scenes information about the show, hoping to find some answers. And though I didn't find an explicit answer, what I found instead was a challenge. In the official HBO Max Last of Us post-episode podcast, they say this.
By the way, a lot of little details are going to come back around. We don't want to give spoilers, but I will say this. Careful viewers of this episode will be rewarded repeatedly because little bits of breadcrumbs have been planted that are going to pay off later in interesting ways.
Excuse me? Careful viewers. Do you know who you're talking to?
Also, they mention how it's like, it's not like they can like explode spores or whatever at us. And I was like, bro, they clearly haven't met a bloater.
I've spent the last 8 years poring over every frame of movies and television that I've watched, overthinking, analyzing it. You challenge me to search, and I will find it. And you know what, loyal theorists? I did. I found the answer to how exactly
Am I
this
going to
fungal
share the food with
parasite
chat?
devastated the world so fast. And true to the creator's word, it was in the
No.
small details that were hidden in plain sight all along.
Yeah.
How did the world of The Last of Us end? Cookies. Or more specifically,
Yep.
the flour that was used
Yep.
to bake those cookies. Allow me to explain. The first thing that tipped me off about flour is this line right here. In the background of one of the morning scenes, we can hear a radio broadcast that specifically talks about problems happening in Jakarta.
Jakarta. Where is that, Middle East?
It's in Indonesia, Joel. Learn some geography. Anyway, the call out of Jakarta immediately struck me as odd. Why there?
I just
of
finished
all
my food, by the way.
places? It seemed
Might as well
oddly
just
specific.
finish this
Well,
video
in
and then we
addition
can
to
get back to
beautiful
it.
Beaches and tropical architecture, Jakarta also happens to be home to the largest flour mill in the world. This behemoth, run by PT Bogasari Flour Mills, has 15 milling lines. In fact, it's able to produce more than 4 million tons of flour.
Don't
each
eat
year.
uncooked
This
flour.
fungal infection spreads through flour products. Of course, there's going to be disturbances starting in Jakarta. Hey guys, this is Future Matt Pet here. So this theory was written immediately after I saw the first episode, but episode 2 actually gave us a little more information about the Jakarta situation in the show. That is very often the risk that we take when we do theories about ongoing
Later, Sally.
series.
Thanks for stopping by.
Episode 2's cold open takes place in Jakarta, where a professor at the University of Indonesia.
They
is
literally
taking a look at one
go
of the
into
first
what
infected
happened.
people. We're told that this infected person came from, quote, a flour and grain factory on the west side of the city. And then under her breath, the professor says, a perfect substrate. A substrate, in case you don't know,
Hey,
is a
thank you for the
surface
sub,
or
Dustin.
material where an organism, like say a fungus, can live, grow, and obtain nourishment. Basically, this practically confirms our theory that flour is the reason for the cordyceps outbreak in the show. So, woo, we got it right. That said, there's still a ton of fun evidence here in the episode, so I'm just gonna hand it
What
back
is this
off
theory
to Past
about?
Matt Pat
The
now, so you
only
can keep
way to
watching and be
survive The
impressed
Last
with
of
how
Us.
we solved
So
this
he's
a
getting
week
to it.
early and then release the video a week late. What's more, there are also tons of flour mills all over Texas, in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and yes, Austin, where the show's prologue takes place. With so many mills throughout
Hey,
Texas,
Rena,
the
thank you
state
for the
would be a
sub.
hot spot for an outbreak, just like we saw with Jakarta. But fungi and flour, is that scientifically
And the solution,
reasonable?
the
Flour is
solution
usually
that
made from
scientist
wheat
has
or
was to
other grains,
blow it
so
up.
how do fungus get in there? Well, hate to say it,
Spoiler, the professor's solution to her finding out about the infected through the fungi, and they're like, can you make an antidote or whatever? She's like, blow it up. What? Blow up the city. Don't let it spread. Kill everyone. Because there is no vaccine for this. Why is that always the solution? Because there's no vaccine for fungal shit. Like even now, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but apparently, like, because it's fungus, there's no actual vaccination for it.
but you know mold, the gross stuff that grows on food that's spoiled or been left out for too long? That is a type of fungus. So if the wheat used to make it has gone bad in any way, there's likely some fungus mixed in there. Even freshly made flour out of mills has been shown to sometimes contain fungus. According to one study, there can be a ton of fungus inside of commercial flour. This study took 19 flour samples and 11 wheat samples from 11 different mills across Kansas, Nebraska, and the Pacific Northwest. In those samples, the fungal count in flour ranged from 85 to 8,000.
Dude, literally, The Last of Us show is so good. There's one thing that bothers me about it, and it's not even the show's fault.
Stuff was just in there. So if a fungus can indeed
Just
be
stop using
inside
flour
freshly
easy.
milled flour somehow,
You
why not cordyceps? So with me suddenly
don't
thinking that
realize how much flour there is in the
I rewatched
world,
the episode
and
again, immediately you see
how
a bunch of little details
long
start
it
to
took
add
them
up.
to
All
realize
throughout
that.
the prologue, we never once see Joel, Sarah, or Tommy eat anything.
They never eat flour.
To the point where it's almost a miracle. In the morning,
Not the
though
birthday
Sarah's
cake,
planning
not the
to make Joel
pancakes.
She can't because they don't have any more pancake mix.
Where's the pancake mix? I was gonna make you birthday pancakes.
After school, when Sarah visits their neighbor,
The
Mrs.
cookies, she
Adler,
doesn't eat 'em.
turns down an offer to eat a cookie. Likely this is because they're raisin cookies, and raisins are just awful lies masquerading as chocolate chips. But still, this one move may have meant that Sarah
Wow,
missed
Cloudy,
a big
Jesus,
old
never
bite
do
of
that again.
Zombie infection. Already, that'd be enough to raise some eyebrows, but the coincidences just keep going. That night, when Joel gets home late, they realize that he's forgotten to pick up the birthday cake.
No
that they were
birthday
gonna
cake.
Share.
Where's the cake? Come on, man.
I'll get us one tomorrow.
And earlier in the day, they saw Mr. Adler feeding his elderly mother biscuits. In fact, when he offers some of the extras to Sarah and Joel, they decline. Joel even jokes that he loves biscuits,
But he's on,
Atkins
Atkins.
is, of course, a fad diet that recommends not eating any bread or grain products. Obviously, Joel isn't actually on Atkins here, given his plan to have pancakes and birthday cake, but it's still an interesting thing for the show to bring attention to, isn't it? Additionally, in the parts of the first episode set
I'm glad
after
they're
the
safe.
outbreak, we never actually see anyone eating.
I'm sorry. Shout out to this one just straight up being Markiplier. I found the film theory lore. That's just Markiplier. Nice try, Matt Pat. I figured out the hidden Easter egg in this video.
Any products made from flour. There's this big open crowd shot.
Oh,
where
hey,
we
what's
can't
up,
make
Supreme?
out anyone's plate.
Yeah,
So
we'll
there
get back to
isn't any
signing
bread
once I finish
scraps
this
on
video.
Ellie's empty plate when she's being kept prisoner. Basically, the
I just wanted to
only
eat. I
thing
was
that
starving.
we see anyone consuming is Joel drinking some alcohol. In short, this show goes very far out of its way to never show us its main characters explicitly eating flour-based product. Hey, this is Future MatPat here again with some additional evidence that we see happening in episode 2.
Oh,
We
that's
do
right.
actually get someone eating bread during the present day.
In
We see
episode 2,
Ellie is
yeah,
eating
I
a
forgot about
sandwich,
that.
Which makes sense because she's immune to the zombie outbreak. And you notice what Joel and Tessa are eating? Jerky, no bread. Thought that was just another little detail
I
that was
forgot
worth
about
pointing out.
that.
The only immune person is eating bread while everyone else apparently isn't. Just cool little Easter eggs that I found while licking
Damn.
the wounds of this theory that came out.
That's
today.
good. I didn't even catch that the second time.
Pipeline. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, wouldn't the fungus just die off while being baked? And that's a really great thing to call out. Yes, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, most yeast and mold fungi are super sensitive to heat. Normally, they can be
Let's
destroyed
get this
at temperatures
bread.
of 140 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, or 60 to 71 degrees Celsius. And most ovens, when they're baking cookies, are set somewhere between 325 and 350 Fahrenheit, or 163 to 177 C. Well,
How's she
above
immune?
those fungi-killing
So we
temperatures.
don't
Even the
find
most
out
heat-resistant
why
fungi
she's
in
immune.
history, found in 2011 by scientists in India, can only
We
survive
might,
temperatures of
in the show,
239
it might
degrees
explain
Fahrenheit
how
or
she became
115
immune.
C. But all of that being
But
said,
even in the games, they
fungi
never
in the
explain
production
why
lines of
Ellie
baked goods and bread
specifically is
products
immune.
are still a massive problem. According to a study,
It might just be a
published in Food
human
Research
adaptation thing.
International, they actually
Like how
found
fungi
more fungus in
adapted,
goods
humans can
after
also
they've been
adapt.
baked than anywhere
It's part
else
of the
in
evolution
cooking
process.
Basically, they say that the highest fungal counts were seen in the final processing stages of making the goods, right after they'd come out of the oven and were busy cooling. And considering that The Last of Us spent that whole opening scene pointing out that the fungus in the world evolved to survive at higher temperatures, it's entirely plausible that the cordyceps made it out of the oven. And so now, with all of that in mind, I can't help but look back at the podcast that got me started down this rabbit hole to begin with. You know what I realized? The answer has been staring me in the face the entire time. Do you remember exactly what was said by the creators during that podcast?
Careful viewers of this episode will be rewarded repeatedly because little bits of breadcrumbs have been
Oh,
planted.
hell yeah.
Breadcrumbs.
Oh,
huh?
well, I'm glad, Nibbles.
Flour-based breadcrumbs. They told us the answer right there.
Damn.
Those cheeky sons of a gun. And just to put the cherry on top here, the pièce de résistance. Do you know what they were talking about right before this in the podcast that got them to start talking about these little hints? The intentional trail of breadcrumbs.
We made a point of making this sort of joke about how she couldn't even eat biscuits. By the way, a lot of little details are going to come back around.
Oh,
We don't
that's
wanna
so
give
funny.
spoilers.
They were discussing the elderly neighbor, the first infected person we see, and how she was being fed biscuits. The evidence has mounted here, folks. The Society of the Last of
So
Us
is
TV
your
show fell
theory
apart
just
because
don't eat bread? Because I'm going to be really upset about that, Matt.
cordyceps fungus evolved to be more heat resistant to be able to take root in humans, and then its particles were spread worldwide through flour. So Joel, I guess you had plenty of reasons to say,
You know, I don't really like pancakes.
your Atkins diet might be saving more than just your waistline. But hey,
Wow. I hate that. Bro, I knew that already. That's not a theory. That's just the science of the show. Hey, forehead, don't have flour and you'll be good. I thought there was more to it than that. God damn it. Damn it, Matt. All right. Let's get back to signing.